Hey everyone, my name is Flicker, and today I'm going to be getting my Sky Dailies done. Interesting choice. RNG, tell me, what brought this song up? I'll add this song to the music playlist later. Looks like I'll be playing without the mouse today, damn it. Oh well, I should be able to stop by a store and grab a new wireless mouse around Wednesday. What song is this? Hmm. At the intersection of clarity, confusion, bright, dark, dull, and colorful, is truth, reality, foundation. Not order without chaos, but chaos within order, order within chaos. I will outlast my hesitation. Such has been true before, such will be true again. After all, if hesitation is only the silence that fills the gaps between choices, then the end choice is still predictable, is it not? Until the bounds of chaos wriggle in and bring forth new possibilities. Trying to concentrate all the different truths I've seen throughout my life into one spot is like trying to... Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah, I could... Okay, one moment. There we go. It's like trying to get a bunch of rowdy kids to agree to share space and get along with each other. The headache. Because the truth of their freedom is just as equally powerful as the truth of my freedom. A million relative truths, counterbalanced by their relative opposites and total opposites. That's good, but why are you aiming for my heart? Come on, you should treasure your own first. I like my garlic. It's a recipe Mom picked up from somewhere, and I just loved it when it turns out right. Basically, you take chicken, you coat it in you coat it in eggs and a little bit of milk. Then you coat that in flour, sear it. Then you put it in the oven until it's golden brown and cooked through. Then you get to eat it. The flour, no, the order got wrong because I forgot about the breading. So it's coat the raw chicken in flour, then coat that in egg and milk combination. Don't know the exact proportions. Then you coat that in breading mixed with garlic spice or salt or whatever. Ground up garlic. Then you take that after all of the pieces have been seared and laid out on a pan. You cook it in an oven and cook until golden brown or cook through completely. You may want to use like a you may want to use a plastic you may want to use a wax paper sheet so that way it doesn't stick to the pan. Because I've seen it get stuck on there, and for as much as each shred of the breading is tasty, getting it unstuck from the underside of the pan is never fun. You have to jam the spatula right underneath it a whole bunch. Yeah. Hello there, house cat. Not giving up, not letting go, not... I'll keep on running, I'm gonna reach for the stars. Although they look pretty far, I'm gonna find my own way and take a chance on today. I'm running. I am tempering myself by fluctuating between hope and despair until I resolve myself to a singular conclusion, multifaceted and dynamic to encompass reality as a whole, that neither falls into pure hope or pure despair, so that neither can be a vector for manipulation. Even if that means being wrong. Paradoxes are making through the... Paradoxes shining through the horizon. Weave the fabric of reality. Distinct it from fiction. And let the reasonable absurdities bloom. Oh. For reality is sometimes stranger than fiction. Oh, I'm glad I got to learn about that in class back in high school. Oh. Love. Chemistry of growth given form by ideals. I think I spelled that right. I'm still here. My heart is still beating. My heart is holding on. Oh, that's sweet. You are the moon, for only a dress of stars suits your gown, my dear. Trick answer? No, not trick answer. So I was wrong. I feel the pressure on. I feel the pressure on. I feel the pressure on me. Defeated I will not be. Time goes by, I will rise. I think of life. Feel the pressure on me. Defeated I will not be. Say this part of life. Live when you die, reach against time. Race against time. And find yourself limited by scale. Search the gap between the two. And the dullness of space is found. Mirror space to a different connection, a different end. I wonder what lies there, my friend. I wish you well, despite not knowing you. Overcome. Mm. I don't know. Mm. This feels like it should be obvious to me, but that's the whole reason why I'm taking a moment to pause and not jump into an answer. So as to not let toxic shame control me. To not let embarrassment or fear dictate my hand. But to let them know that they are acknowledged, felt, and seen. While I write my own answer. I feel the pressure on me. Defeated I will not be. Time goes by. Well, I mean, I do have an answer for that, but it's a pretty morbid one. Fair enough. We're getting into fandom territory here. Noted. I am nothing but stubborn and resilient. I hope. This feels like an actual riddle and pun. My sanity is questionable, but it's still there. Alright, let's see the answer. Oh my goodness. Now my brain's going like, okay, well, I could easily just add in the easy answer of trust. Home. Care minus respect is love. Love minus care. Care minus love is respect. No. Home minus love is respect. Home minus respect is love. After all, if you're going to be having people doing conceptual math that long after you've written it to overlook the original intent and to recognize the twisted nature of reality, then you gotta think about what these subtractions will turn into, too. uh... Uh... What kind of bear is best? Start up music. I gotta stop sticking my head into the abyss just because it's entertaining. It's such a fun challenge to decipher. Girl, we are actively losing our stability. Please, for the love of everything, no. Just because I thought it would bring us the ability to predict things doesn't mean it's healthy. After all, what use is prediction if all you see are the negatives? If you can't see the positives alongside the negatives, then the prediction becomes a trap. And that's the fundamental flaw I ran into. To accept the unknown, positive and negative, and to be able to use that to fight against paranoid predictions is a difficult skill. But it is one I want to learn. To be able to face uncertainty with resolute and resolve that accepts what I don't know, rather than trying to answer it. Hell yeah, 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 hell yeah, 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 yeah. No, I really am still repairing my self-trust, now that I think about it. Dum, da, 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 da. Right, since my negative thinking and perspective often leave me remembering the lowest points of my life and my failures, try to make a list of all my personal successes and keep track of that list. Not to judge myself by my worth via success, but to acknowledge that sometimes it's not about failure or success. It's about giving it a try, giving an effort into the attempt, rather than just letting something sit unresolved, unacknowledged, or otherwise. Hello. All it takes is a fragment or a figment to get me stuck again. That's the really annoying part. On one end, my brain says there is hope, and on the other end, my brain says there is none. And meanwhile, I'm just looking at both ends and going, would you please shut up and just let me live? But no, because I was a fucking... No, brain, stop complaining. Complaining just makes negativity easier. You're allowed to complain, you're allowed to feel bad. But if you do only complaining in your videos, then it's not going to be enjoyable, now is it? Da, 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 da. Heyo. Hug. I hope things treat you well. Hello, friend. You mind helping me out with a ride up? Thank you. Hope you have a lovely time. The brighter your light, the longer your shadow. Simply put. And the same is true of other lights too, not just bright ones, but dark lights, dull lights, colorful lights, confusing lights, clear lights. Clear shadows are like the biggest difficulty curve ever. I mean, I could borrow that page from their playbook. In the case of conflicting interests, what is your answer? What if I don't have an answer? What? What if I don't have an answer? But there's gotta be some way to resolve this. Yeah, and there probably is, but I don't know it right now, so please stop pressuring me. Nom 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 nom. That does give me room to breathe. It doesn't get rid of the problem, so it'll just pop back up later with more intensity, so I can't just fucking ignore it. I can give myself space when I don't have an answer and I'm too overwhelmed to think up an answer. But that does not mean ignoring the problem. That means acknowledging it and respecting it with clear communication. Bye-bye! I have not a goddamn idea what the fuck is the... what the fuck I thought I was doing. The result is not the priority. Sure, the result is important, Rain. The result is very important. But the priority isn't to be able to dictate or control the result. The priority is to accept reality, so that way we work within it and dynamically dance with truth so as to make sure that both us and others end up at happier outcomes. Not in the short term, but in the long term. Happier and successful do not necessarily mean peaceful, after all. Stable does not mean painless. I wonder what would happen if our universe was made up of an infinite number of truths relative to each concept counted. Oh, whatever. That tangent is not worth talking about because I have no way of proving it, and it would just be me talking and running in circles. And sure, I can do that for fun. As a method of stress relief, I can go back to old circles and run them again until I get to the same conclusion. Or I get to a different perspective conclusion. But ultimately, it doesn't actually change anything. And it also wears out my energy, so why would I want to do that? Because it's familiar and it's not unexpected. Isn't the whole point to embrace the unexpected? Yeah, but that takes energy just as much as embracing the expected. Tim Embrace the unexpected takes just as much energy as embracing the expected. Not because it's actually the same mentally energy cost, but because we've developed our brains to prefer a preference towards one or the other when the other shows up when we are expecting one. Then that only then causes us to crash out. Expect both and neither at the same time. Mm. Hmm. You don't have to be okay for your people. Sure, there are times where you may want to be a proper leader by not letting fear show, by being a pillar of stability through everything for everyone. But if you're going to survive the test of time, you gotta check to make sure who's going to actually support you in that role. By letting those who you care about see that you're not okay sometimes. So that way you can tell who's actually going to be there for you when you need actual support, and who's going to just use you as a convenient excuse. Okay, so there was a dark butterfly in there. Refine, temper, forge, but do not polish to death. Do not polish for purity, but integrity. Purity is not integrity. Purity equals fragility. Unreasonable and chaotic diversity also leads to fragility, though. So it's through means of reasonable and proportioned differences that things are grown and nurtured towards better, stronger ends. Things that are more reliable. Hmm. Server merge. Nope. I don't see a name on ya. Ah, blah blah blah. Holy shit, that's a perspective shift. What if it isn't that my truths are the truths I carry with me and consider reliable are necessarily wrong or not strong enough, but rather that I'm trying to support something with only the truths I have rather than figuring out which other truths I may be missing in order to support and uphold a stable perspective. What if instead of it being a lack of quality in the pillars of your life, of one's own beliefs, what if it's instead a lack of diversity and chemistry? What if it's not that the materials I'm working with aren't suitable, but rather that they'd require other components as well in order for the structure to stabilize? Alright, but then that opens up to the possibility of misunderstandings and looking to see another's perspective solely for looking for those missing pieces without taking into account the damage that doing so may deal to us if we overstretch ourselves or overestimate what we can handle. Because if we get lost in searching for answers, we may overlook the obvious. Fair enough. It's happened before. If the status quo seems to be breaking, then seek out answers that you may have forgotten or that you may not yet know. If all you're seeking does not yield results, return to what you know and reevaluate what you remember, so as to patch flaws in your internalizations and understandings. If that doesn't change or allow for room to breathe, then question your own direction and what it is you're trying to achieve, so that way you do not put your efforts where they are not suited. Rock, paper, scissors. Ooh, purple. Takes energy to reevaluate things, so that's the main reason why most people don't dedicate their time to it. Because to do so means having support and the resources to spend in order to do so. That's what differentiates real leaders who respect their power from those who simply see power as a means for control. Leaders are uplifted not to have power, but to spend time questioning their decisions and perspectives such that other people's lives are put in better positions and set up for success. And trying to protect the people, one can end up falling into the long-term game of paranoia and control by being assaulted by countless enemies, or giving into trauma from when moments where instability and safety clashed and you were not expecting to feel pain. Fair. Mine is not the only perspective on such things. Thank fuck for that. No. Please help me with this side first. I do not have my usual ability to... Alright, guess we're gonna be zigzagging. Zigzag. Oh, that was mean. Zigzag. Da, 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 da. Alright, let me try going back and helping someone then. See if that's what reality's wanting. Oi! Oh, hey-oh. So you've given me a challenge instead. Lovely. Oh, geez, it's really all the way out here. For as much as that's meant to be a shield symbol, it also looks like an eye. How many parallel truths am I gonna need to keep me from worrying about things that I can't resolve? Ow. Why are there no clouds? Okay. Miss Self-Sufficient. Miss Keep Your Distance. Miss Unafraid. Miss Out My Way. Miss Don't Let Someone Interfere. No. Miss Almost Gone. Let someone help her off her phone. So by keeping her heart protected, she never ever feel rejected. Little Miss Apprehensive, say ooh, she fell in love. Fucking love this song. What happened to Miss Independent? No longer needs to be defensive. Goodbye, old you, when love is true. Oh, misguided heart. Miss, play it smart. Miss, if you want to, better not start. Change your misconceptions. had the momentum there. Oh. Oh. Also, for those of you who watch this and somehow harbor ideas of it getting to know me more deeply, I'd like to ask, for what purpose are those ideas? Because that will determine whether or not you're even close to successful, let alone if you have a chance. Polyamorous I may be, but that does not mean I want to date everyone. No thank you. Greedy I may be, but that does not mean I want to have everyone. Because with greed and power comes responsibility, lest the debt of your own actions accrue until eventually it haunts you for the rest of your life. Like some people seem to fail to forget, fail to understand every time. Yeah. Rain, you failed English. Yes, we failed English! That was not a compliment. Too bad! You failed grammar more than actual English. Nope. We're trying that again. Okay, that's gotta be uncomfortable. Sliding down the slope while sitting in that position and the snow's just going up your dress, up your skirt. Ew. There we go. The Roomba bounced off a little fucking bump in the ground and didn't go where it intended, so we may have to come back to this recording and finish that original train of thought, because ADHD Tangent took it down a different took it down a different path than what we wanted. After all, people are not excuses. People are living concepts that deserve to be respected and understood. Not to their full depth every time, since that would then waste your own time. But to at least be reasonable is good enough. Reasonable and decent. Also, I may need to invest in a social space where I can be mean as fuck and not have to worry about someone actually getting hurt. That way, that aspect of myself doesn't pop up in other situations where it's like, ooh, do I have this kind of relationship with the person? Let me try. And it's just like, no, you have now ruined the relationship. And it's just like, oh. Fucking, I would love to tease and banter with people more and more often. But until I'm actually in a stable mental state where I can judge such things properly, no, reserved is better. I say that with confidence, but that doesn't mean it's the actual truth, just means that I believe it. Hell, I can say things with confidence even if I don't believe them. Oh. Dun, dun, Everybody wants to rule the world. They want the fantasy of ruling the world. I don't want the fantasy, and I don't want the reality either. The reality will always subvert the fantasy, and I do not want to be dealing with paperwork 24/7. Thank you, have a good day. Breaks my ankle on the wall, and then falls down, unable to fly. Shit! Ow! My brain thinks of morbid things. Hmm. I cannot force myself to be stable if I do not have... Hell, I cannot force myself to be a stable person. Especially if I do not have a stable environment, socially or otherwise. If I don't feel safe, then how the fuck am I supposed to be a safe place for others? Because then panic pressure builds up until it overflows. I'll never regret that. It's what I hold on to most fiercely, is trying to have a kind of heart. What I do regret is investing my time and space in people who didn't really know me, who didn't really want to know me. And that was my mistake to make. One. Oh, hey, bunny boy. Well, yes, I want to be mean. I don't want to be mean to the point where it actually hurts other people. Which means being able to judge who can handle me being mean to them and who can't. Let alone how to effectively communicate time and again that me being mean is not me thinking less of someone. I'm still here, I'm still breathing. Even if I forget to sometimes. Creating a safe space for oneself, so that way they can then be a safe space for others, is a good thought, but if you use the thought of creating a safe space for others as the purpose of creating a safe space for yourself, then you're ultimately going to end up with a hollowed out result. Authenticity is important. Yeah, my reaction too. Positive confusion, I'll take it. No. Alright, facts that mess with me the most. Are A, I wasn't believed, despite my honest efforts. B, my honest efforts were not enough to keep them from feeling scared. Still feel ashamed over that one. Anyways, snap out of it, girl. That's not the only thing messing with you. Yet another fact messing with you is the fact that you can't attempt to communicate with them out of fear of them scapegoating you the moment they become uncomfortable. Not because they ever intend to, but because it could be an automatic reaction by their nervous system due to past interactions. Which is just unfortunate. What's another fact that messes with me? We need to quadrangulate the core of the why I'm stuck. And I could say triangulate, but that would only provide a 2D perspective. It wouldn't actually give me a 3-dimensional perspective on something that I can actually walk around. And if it gets 4th dimensional, then I'm already in deep trouble. So, I can't communicate for fear of being scapegoated. Not that I haven't tried to. But I can only do so, I can only defy that fear within the bounds of my own safety. And thus, I cannot be as reckless as I was before. All the way back 2 years ago. I can understand why my efforts weren't believed, and but understanding and clarity do not make it an acceptable truth that one can sit with. Do not mistake clarity for truth. I've heard that recently, and it's like, you know what? I might have been caught up in that fallacy. Ooh! Nice! I was able to... I wouldn't have considered that as a method for gaining. Get over here, dark confusion. I will turn you into bright confusion. Then I will turn you into dull confusion and colorful confusion. Then I will turn you into deep confusion, clear confusion, and finally real truth. It's been a while since I've been here. Into the harm's way, and then out of harm's way. No. In terms of shame-based things that are keeping me trapped, there's Trace's shame that she put someone she cared about through such stress because she was holding on to a delusion. And unfortunately for me, I also felt that shame by proxy. So that's gonna carry over to both of us, even if we'd rather it not, and shut us down pretty effectively. Which is why breaking the delusion has been a major focal point mentally. But that's not the only way we can go about things, and if we focus solely on that, then we're going to end up stuck, wasting a good chunk of our life trying to give energy to something that ultimately isn't easy to do. So we want to find the other weak links in terms of challenge, and work our way up the scale instead of trying to throw ourselves at the hardest one until it breaks, because we've broken enough. We've survived it many times, but that doesn't mean it didn't hurt. I wouldn't have checked back here if it weren't for this other person. Alright, I'll accept. Zawap. Alright, gotta be careful with this, because there's always the possibility of me getting overconfident and getting us both hit by rubble. Ow. Oh, okay then. I got lucky with that. Okay, then into the distance with you. Oh, well, I got what I wanted. Oh. I cannot attempt to communicate outside of the areas where I have safe space for myself. I.e., these recordings, my channel, my server, or in a friend's server that isn't going to fucking boot me out because of drama. So that's that limitation. That I really don't like, I'm gonna be real. It's frustrating as hell. I can respect it. Another limitation that messes with me is the fact that no matter how much I want to help, I want to communicate that I made real efforts, every attempt at communicating such will only ever be misinterpreted or open up room for new attack vectors emotionally if I get disbelieved again. So ultimately I cannot make action in that direction just by those two alone. Yet I still don't want to leave myself feeling stuck and restless, because otherwise I then start building up panic pressure due to paranoia and otherwise. And panic pressure is what broke me last time. At least I'm not ashamed of my feelings anymore. I'm just ashamed that we actually put them through so much stress in struggling to admit and accept our own feelings, let alone to respect their boundaries. Back all the way 2 years ago. Yeah, no, that still just doesn't feel right. The discomfort we put them through is where the shame is based, but the indignancy that also counterbalances that to a state of unresolvable is the indignancy of feeling like we were not only not just believed, but also dismissed, invalidated, and completely used as a scapegoat. Which I can't blame them for, because I practically set that up myself in case things would go south. And that was my dumbass decision to do so. I'm not doing that ever again. After all, the whole reason why I was trying to rely on minimal support wasn't just because of my pride. It was also to make sure that I was not leveraging things in my favor should I mess up and they seriously need to speak up or have space for themselves. But now, they've had space for themselves, they have space for themselves, and I'm trying to figure out how to get myself working towards having space for myself, not with the intention to be a safe space for others, but to just be a safe space for myself. Because if you aren't a safe space for yourself, then how the hell are you going to be there for others? Also, I didn't know there was this area up here. Alright, so along the path of making a safe space for myself, what complications have we run into? Because that's a path we've actually explored and have available. Even if we've run into complications and or disruptors along the way. Well, first off, there's the disruptor of what if they're watching, and it's just like, okay, we need to remember to address that with, we are not responsible for someone else's feelings when they are not willing to communicate with or work with us. That's just a life fact. But are we assuming that they're not willing to work with us, or are we just taking silence as rejection when it may not actually be the case? I don't know. Because I can believe in both, and that's what's messing with me. What's most intriguing, though, is that it could be some other third answer in each of these cases where we're both wrong and a little right at the same time, or completely wrong in both regards. So it adds another dimension to the possible paths ahead for navigation. Navigating possibility space is not fun. Especially when you realize that delusions love to live in that headspace. It's like a natural feeding ground for them. Alright, so aside from us worrying about how they may react to our own personal truth, which, personally speaking, we shouldn't be trying to control, what else has gotten in the way? Well, there's the social media addiction plague that is currently trying to infect the entire world for engagement without considering the consequences of doing so, and we have been hooked before by it. It's the reason why sometimes we take mental damage not from anything related to dense stork, but because our videos weren't well received, well investigated, or otherwise. And that's something that we want to bear the reality of, because if we're looking for self-reward and self-fulfillment in the number of views, then ultimately we spiral down into the same path that a lot of other people are taking that's not really changing anything. Well, that also affects how much we allow ourselves to express our ideas between channels, too. Because so what if we think something's great or useful? If it's not going to be well received, why bother? It's that pessimistic mindset I keep telling you about. Yeah, well, your optimistic mindset got us both hurt. It was because we weren't working together that we both got hurt. Why can't you understand this? You're not wrong. Not wrong. Sorry. It's okay. I didn't mean to raise my voice. I don't want to blame you, and I don't want to blame others either. Oh, that did a hit on her mental state. Yeah, no shit. At least you're saying sorry, though. I'm proud of that improvement. At least you're speaking up. I'm proud of that improvement. Oh boy. To those of you who snuck by and saw a fragment of this recording, thank you. To those of you who stuck around and watched a good chunk through, we deeply appreciate it. We hope you have a good day, good night, whatever time or non-time it is. And if it isn't good, you're feeling stuck, struggling, alone, or just trapped, well, I hope that things get better. That they either stay manageable, or that you find a way to vent your feelings and sit with them without hurting yourself or others. Not in ways that are unreasonable, but in ways that are reasonable. There is only so much damage control is useful. Because after that, it's just self-sacrifice. You don't deserve to be sacrificed. Neither do I. No one does. They deserve to live with the consequences of their actions, of their choices and otherwise, but that does not mean we will think of them as lesser. Because that would be conceit, when we're all just people. And there's the heart I protect deep down. Oh well. Scared. But being as brave as I can. Now with all that said and gently pushed aside, my name is Flicker. I've gotten my dailies done, so this catalyst of the world will see you all later. Bye! I'll see you in the next video, you goobers. You watchlings, you hauntings and otherwise. May you bloom into real versions of yourself that navigate the truth of reality. That don't need to rely on blind fiction. Because you deserve to live. I truly do believe that. We all deserve to live. Even if that means facing the tough truths of reality. I care about you all, even if I'll never know you. Please, don't lose yourself out there. And don't lose yourself in here either. You deserve to sit with yourself and learn to be your own partner, your own supporter. Even if things aren't always smooth sailing. Bye.